Hello everybody, this is ManuS and welcome back to another Legends of Runeterra deck tech, this time with the Fiora Zed sort of combo Infect style deck that is a Demacia Ionia proactive deck that's not quite a typical aggro deck, but it's kind of trying to buff and protect Fiora or Zed and try to ride them to victory. It's kind of like a sort of Voltron-y strategy in a way, or just like kind of like Infect, you're just trying to buff and protect one critical threat and kill the opponent with it. Before we dive in, you know the drill. Hit the subscribe button, turn on notification icon to not miss out on future content, and if you enjoy the content, please leave a like. And now on to the deck list. Alright, so this is the deck. We have a bunch of 1-drops since we're still kind of proactive and want to get out on the board. We have Citria. Right number is probably 2 or 3. Currently I'm running 3, also because they are particularly nice with Protector and Warchefs on turn 2, so doing something on 1 makes those 2-drops a lot better, and we don't have that many 2-drops either. And then we have Fleet Feather Tracker, just a great 1-drop. Attacks for 2, works really well with Protector and Warchefs. And then we have Inspiring Mentor, which is mainly there to, like I said, help buff our critical units, Fiora and Zed, but can also buff other stuff if nothing else is available, like for example Fleet Feather Tracker. And then we have Rush, because it's a cheap trick. It works really well with the challenge from Tracker and Fiora, and lets us nicely fill out our curve or make use of random spell mana that we picked up on the way, and just kind of lets us control the board a bit. Then we have 3 Bright Steel Protector, just a decent 2-drop that also has nice synergy with Fiora and Fleet Feather Tracker for the challenge, or just random units really. And then we have Warchefs, already talked about this in my Elite Aggro video, just a really good 2-drop. Particularly with 1-drops, and because the buff is temporary, it's kind of like healing units. You can even use this on a damaged unit, and then if they don't take damage during combat, they only lose the +1 attack, they don't lose the +1 buff, so it even basically heals damaged units if it buffs them and they don't take damage during combat, because the +1 health only disappears if it's above the unit's max health, making this even better than it might seem. Then we have Deny. This is kind of important in the deck because we really want to protect our Fiora and our Zed, and Deny is great at protecting us from removal, opposing tricks trying to blow us out in combat, or just big impactful spells like sweepers and stuff like that. And since the deck isn't like just curve out 1, 2, 3 and use all your power, you can usually play it a bit slower and set up a situation where you have spell mana for this and then run out your critical cards. I've been surprisingly impressed by the card. Like initially I thought the card isn't very good because it's so expensive, it only hits actual spells and skills, which is kind of like Stifle. But yeah, it costs 3, so to even like trade up in tempo means it's only really good against like spells that cost 4 or more, and how many are there really gonna be and stuff. But the way spell mana plays out and stuff, and because it's not only about tempo, it's also about like protecting stuff, the card actually is pretty powerful and pretty good. So yeah, an integral piece of the deck. Then we have our key threats, Fiora and Zed. These are the units we want to get out, buff, flip, or like level, and win with, ideally. Then we have Relentless Pursuit. This card is also much better than I thought. To be fair, initially I didn't even quite know how the card works, because radio attack is very ominous. But yeah, it basically gives you an attack token. Either lets you attack a second time on a turn you are an attacker, or it lets you attack on a turn that you are a defender, which is super cool. So what you basically can do is, if your opponent acts before they attack on their offense, you can play Relentless Pursuit, and then use your priority to attack before the opponent gets to attack, which is particularly good with challengers like Fiora, so you can just challenge some of their critical units and kill them before the opponent even gets an attack and stuff like that. So yeah, card is a pretty cool trick that will blow out and catch people off guard left and right. And maybe there should even be a third, not sure though, like the card's a bit situational, so maybe 2 is the better number. Then we have some Twin Disciplines, just a flexible trick. Not super high on the card, but it does a decent job, and the deck wants tricks. It makes Zed hit for 12, like it gets doubled on Zed. It allows Fiora to kill bigger stuff, or kill stuff without dying by gaining the health. It's a bit more flexible than the 3-cost Give a Barrier card that some people are running, so yeah, this is definitely all in all a better option, I would say. Then I currently have 2 Laurent Bladekeeper and 2 Vanguard First Blade as 4-drops. This just obviously works nicely with our challengers in Fiora and the 1-drop, but it also is great on Zed because it makes him super hard to kill and obviously gets doubled on him. And yeah, it's just a nice card that helps with our primary game plan. And I'm currently trying it out. I'm not 100% sure how correct it is and what the correct number is, 0, 2, or 3. Probably not 1 though, but maybe even 1. Not sure. And then Vanguard First Blade is just like an additional threat. Joel Larsen, for example, is running 3. I'm not sure if that is correct. I'm currently splitting like 2 and 2 to have like 4 4-drops. If I either don't want the Blade Keepers or want more 4-drops, I could see going up to 3. The card's a bit hit or miss because it's super weak on defense, but on offense it's pretty good. It's basically like a 4-cost 4/4, which is solid, and after that it gets better. Like once it attacks the second time and becomes a 6/6, it's way above average for a 4-drop. So it's just kind of a nice backup snowball threat in addition to Fiora and Zed, and we need some more ways to win. So maybe there should be a third for that reason. Then we have 3 Riposte. Yeah, just a trick, gives barrier, deals damage, so it lets you counter various damage-based effects. It lets Zed hit for 12. It lets Fiora kill something big for free without dying. Just does a lot of stuff. And it's burst, so you don't lose an action, and the opponent can't react to it. And then we have 2 Judgment, just sort of a way to like 1-turn kill with Fiora sometimes on certain boards, and just to like blow out the opponent in combat in certain situations. It's a bit clunky and situational, but it's super powerful, so it's a nice thing to have. There should probably at least be 1, not sure about the second, but for now I'm trying to get a better feel for the card. And yeah, that's a deck. You basically just kind of try to sort of control the board and get ahead on board and pressure the opponent, and eventually like win with Fiora or Zed usually, and make sure they don't die, and the deck's pretty good at doing that. Deck's pretty powerful and pretty cool to play, has a lot of play to it, making it a cool and interesting deck to mess around with that is a bit less linear and sort of predictable than your typical aggressive deck. But it is also obviously less explosive and slower, so that can have its own disadvantages. But we will see how we do with this one. So stay tuned and see you in a moment with game number 1.